ground. Focus. We're losing ground. Focus. Allied cruise missile launched. We're losing ground. Allied cruise missile launched. We're losing ground.
That hill going up to our spawn.
Allied cruise missile launched.
That hill going up to our spawn.
Allied cruise missile launched.
Oh man, they're camping hard on there. Oh man, they're camping hard on there. Bitch, that 3 building going towards us. Bitch,
Allied UAV overhead.
towards us.
We have taken the lead.
What the fuck is this UAV?
Soldat, you have lost the lead. Allied cruise missile launched. The lead is ours. Keep pushing.
Oh, you cool.
The enemy has the lead.
You finally playing on the Xbox? Holy shit.
Enemy cluster strike. Take cover.
Yes. You're a console player, not a computer player, damn it. Guess who was playing with us yesterday? You heard? He was playing with us yesterday. Somebody you least suspected. Ruben's mom. Yeah.
They've reached the halfway
It
point.
was
Get
fun.
moving.
We won a couple.
That's good. That's good.
We had a
Oh.
blast.
Oh,
Enemy care package
that's
inbound.
perfect, bro. That is perfect, man. You know.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing okay.
I'm still doing weapons.
Wow.
Enemy care package inbound.
You guys, I see you level 100 though. You doing all right? Hanging it in there, bro. Doing your thing.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I already got 4 guns
Enemy
in
cluster
gold.
strike. Take cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, supply drop over here, buddy. When your supply drop is mine, bitch.
Allied UAV overhead.
Oh, you came back. So your UAV is not there.
Enemy care package inbound. Allied UAV overhead.
Setting Claymore. Changing mag.
Got it.
Enemy cruise missile.
That M4 carbon.
I won't die so easy.
Right.
I don't like it.
Carbine. Yeah. Pain in the butt cheek, man.
Mm-hmm. Those shots don't land like the other assault rifles.
Nope. Bro, I don't know why my Xbox headphones, I keep losing audio, like it like reconnects every single time. Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Care package inbound.
Setting Claymore.
Wow, I don't even know how to use my special ops, bro. I just activated it by accident. What is it? The 2 bumpers, right?
Mine's dead silent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got that one where you get to
Allied
choose.
precision airstrike incoming. Be aware.
Yeah, you got the what?
The one where you get to choose your specialized. Like you can choose 2 and then choose as you play.
Come on.
I will follow. Setting Claymore.
I hate that we gotta... Yo, sending Claymore. Like, really, dude?
Yeah, like, these niggas can't hear you.
Yeah, I hate that. I know they removed it, but only in, like, Cyber Attack and Search and Destroy. I don't know why they just didn't take it out all the way. Reloading! Heading down Claymore! Enemy spotted!
They're so loud.
Yeah. There was something I had to check. I forgot. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
We're down, not dead. Enemy precision airstrike. Get down. We have failed. Return to base.
Damn, Ramon.
Well, no, actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I wasn't even playing most of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll see by my kills and deaths. I was having. Look, see, I died 4 times, got 4 kills. I was barely moving around. Not bad. I mean, I know I'm at the bottom, but my KD's like okay. It's all right, bro. We're gonna step that up. I gotta do it, bro. Nah, Thomas, you never added me, bro. Like, I checked the add friend. I got one of my viewers. He said he added me, but every time I check, it doesn't show. What the hell's going on here? Why am I stuck? Wow, I'm like lagging out or something. Probably because the match was starting.
Yeah.
I'll check it after this round, Thomas. We'll check it out, bro. See what's going on with it, you know? We'll definitely check it out, man. Alright, let's see.
Enemy threats in the AO. Weapons hot. We've taken the lead.
Somebody got in my way. I was a friendly, not tolerated when he used to fucking dump me right in front of my dumb book. My bullets. Like,
Claymore set.
damn, how long is this fucking timeout?
Right. Damn, dude. I couldn't, I don't like the sound on these headphones now. I don't know why. I got used to my other ones.
Control.
I blew myself up. Bullshit.
My typing bad. You're good, Thomas. I'm gonna check it out to this round, bro. I got you, man. Yeah. Bro, you be confusing me with your accounts, bro. You got one name and different name. I'm like, what the hell?
Claymore
What do you
set.
mean?
On your FB, bro, you got like 2 accounts and stuff. You confuse me every
Enemy
time.
UAV overhead.
Yeah. Oh, this one is the one you just did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not too many, you know, it passes a certain time.
yeah.
Like, some memory or something, and then they're like, fuck, I'm not even with the person no more. I don't want to see that shit. I'm it anyway.
So why do we gotta hold B to dive? We can't just Hold on, how do I change that? How do you make it to where you just have B to dive instead of
Have beat or die.
no, to like slide.
Oh, slide. I use my bumper.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Hold on. Slide behavior. Hold. Ah, tap. There we go. Damn, that's so stupid. That's much better, bro. I don't like that. I gotta hold it to slide. Like, that was kind of stupid.
Pretty sure you can probably put it to.
Yeah, no, I just changed it. It was in settings.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We got a
Friendly
UAV too.
UAV
huh?
We're
overhead.
playing Call of Duty right now, guys. Oh my god. This might sound like a dumb question, but how do I get up on the wall? Oh, no. Okay, I gotta hold aim and right thumbstick? What the hell?
Are you playing with a computer remote?
No, with a controller on Xbox. I'm trying to learn it, bro. I don't even know how to lean against the wall. Now I got it, though.
Oh, just aim, and if
No, for me, I had to aim and then press the right thumper. Hold on, or joystick. Hold on, let me... I think that's in settings.
oh, cause that's how you gotta set it up.
Friendly care
Go
package
to mount
inbound.
weapon. That's what it's called.
Yeah, weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee. Ah. So I'll
See,
just
that's what you
put it
got.
on, put it on ADS.
ADS would like basically you
Friendly
need
care
something you can
package
mount.
inbound.
It'll mount, even if you wanted to or not.
Oh yeah, that's so much easier.
It's gonna mount. I think it's easier when you double tap the aim.
Double tap the aim.
Yeah, cause that mount shit, I only do it because.
Allied cluster strike inbound.
Give me a second. I'm gonna
It's
fight.
okay, double tap.
Damn, these shotguns are OP, nigga. Oh, good job. Yeah,
We're halfway there.
there's
Keep
some
fighting.
moments that you want to aim and not freaking mount, and it will fuck you up.
Right. Oh man.
If you're aiming out the window, it'll mount to the window, and then you will never be able to, aim outside the window. Lucky bitch, I was coming for you, cabrón. Yo, the shotgun is OP.
Oh, shotgun's always OP, bro. It's still OP to this day.
Watch this. No! Not that.
Oh boy. That is crazy, bro.
What?
That is crazy. I have no idea. I just don't know why it's crazy. It's just crazy. Okay, I got my controllers all set up now. Yeah, I'll get used to it. I feel like my ADS speed is kind of slow.
Boost it up.
Yeah, ADS sensitivity. Let's see, low zoom.
Should be at 4 regularly.
Yeah. 4?
4, yeah. I sometimes go down to 3, but that's just me because I'm slow like that.
Yeah, no, my camera sensitivity is 7 and 6 for vertical and horizontal, but for...
Damn it.
Good, you good.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, I can't do nothing about a UAV now.
Yeah, this is a lot
Heck,
better.
I went through bike. I got somebody using the Olympia. Shotgun battle. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to these controls, man. Whew. Feels all foreign to me right now.
Oh, I think if everything goes good for the rest of the month, I should buy a new phone
Right.
next month.
Oh,
It's used, but
that's good, bro. That's good. Keep up the good
all the
work.
mobile games.
Hell yeah. All you need is about 3 to 4 gigs of RAM on a phone and just a decent processor. You don't need like top of the line, like expensive hardware for
I need a
it.
good phone because some phones outdated and they don't play.
They're not compatible. Yeah, I know. Like my son's phone
Yeah.
used to be like that, but honestly, bro, it's all about knowing what you're getting, you know? Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh! I wasn't paying attention, I just got blown up.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Damn. Fucking shotgun is nasty. And I don't even know the shotgun. I'm just doing a little.
Bro, you should have saw the shotgun when it first came out.
I bet. I'm having a blast with it right now. Toma, see? Toma. Come on, zombie.
Right.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Come on, man. It's got a fucking party out here.
Friendly care package
Oh no!
inbound.
Let me go high.
Allied cluster strike inbound.
That one out there, come on. They shooting bullets.
What?
I ain't going out there. It's that fucking killing.
We're winning
One
this.
down.
Keep it tight.
At this thing. Look. Fuck, I seen him.
Claymore set.
Outstanding. I expect nothing less.
Oh man, that's crazy, bro. Oh shoot, let me check my friend request real quick. Hold on, he said he added me. Let me see. Add friends. Friend request.
Want me to back out?
Yeah. No, nothing, dude. Hold on. On Xbox, you press Y. Friend requests. Nothing. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, Thomas, nothing, bro. Did you try to add me real quick? My username's right up there. Or right here. Trix 2007, lowercase TRIXZ. That one. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Da, ba, da, 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 da. Yeah, man. Where the heck is everybody, though? Yeah. All right. So if I need somebody to add me on Xbox, they just need my Activision, right? Where is that at?
Accounts.
Without showing all my information here.
You press start. You went to account.
Oh, I see. Here you could do Activision account, Xbox Live gamer tag, other console, or PC. Just search me up on my Xbox Live gamer tag. It'll pop right up. I'm gonna type my own name just to kind of see. I don't think it's gonna let me,
Hey,
but
Ramon.
yeah. What's up?
You went to your mount and enable everything, and then activated your Activision account with the Activision.
Oh yeah, I've been done that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got an Activision account, and I got a Blizzard account, and I got an Xbox account, so they're all linked together.
If he send you one to the right name, close the game and reopen it, because sometimes you don't get
it doesn't sink in. Yeah. Okay, hold on then.
Yeah.
Oh, but doesn't he need my hashtag number, like after my name?
It might.
Hold on, let me just add him real quick.
Okay, then go ahead.
Oh shoot, why is it uppercase all the time? I hate that. How you like the weather outside, bro?
I missed my car.
Oh man, what happened? Alright?
No license.
Dude, bro. As long as you got your morning coffee every day you be posting, you be making me jealous with that caffeine, bro.
Nigga, I'm about to make me some, but I know it's gonna make me want to take a shit.
Yes, caffeine for you, bro. Oh wait, that's not his. He's not on Xbox. I think he's PlayStation. So what is it? Other console?
Other console, yeah.
Oh, I gotta type his name again. Seriously? You realize that the music here is actually.
I'm gonna go take a shit.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go.
I went to take a shit earlier.
Just remember to ask.
Grandma was not feeling well.
Make sure you ask them though.
Maybe
Who does number 2 work for?
What? Number 2 work for? For number 1, Dr. Evil. We all know this.
Right. Oh my god. All right, bro. Go ahead, do your thing, man. All right. I just sent you a friend request, Thomas. All right, let's get you that friend request real quick. All right, guys, we gotta figure out and continue on and see what is going on here. Skull Bro in the house. What's up, dude? I was talking to somebody because somebody's within that certain area. We were talking about some pretty cool stuff. All right, so we have to see. Hold on, guys. Let me open this back up again because I don't like how it does this. Hold on. Why is it like that? Play them up, play them up. Yo, what is our Discord, man? Hold on. I gotta add this right here. Okay, got it. Thank you. I'm see if I can add you again. Okay, see if you why am I had to relog? I'm gonna redo my Call of Duty real quick, guys, and join back in. Give me a second, okay? Let's go ahead and get back in there, guys. See what's happening with that. Okay. Crazy game. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I totally agree with that one. All right, so I'm logging in right now to my Xbox Live. I'm just trying to see. I'm playing it on the Xbox, so this is gonna make matters a little difficult here, guys. But it's all good. We got this, man. We got this.
Kamarov, AQ Hilo in my sights.
Take it down.
Roger, stand by.
It doesn't show you online yet, though, Thomas. What are you doing, bro? Let me see. I don't know if I have you on here yet or not. Nightmare 265. I'm gonna go ahead and revoke it again. Try to add you again. And then we're gonna do Nightmare. Underscore 25. Got you on that front. Friend request failed. Oh, gee. Really, Tricks? There you go. I sent you another one. Sometimes you got to do it again. I see a lot of Tricks names. Right. Really? Wow. That's not good. Well, I have a couple of them. Right. Forgot the R, man. I forgot the R. Oh, no. Why? Yeah. Oh. Feeling better, bro?
Still there, remote?
Feeling good, man?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I just lost like 10 pounds.
Yeah, that's that Chipotle for you, bro. That's why I don't eat that E. coli.
I don't eat Chipotles.
That's good. Good man. But I bet you drink Starbucks.
Nope. Homemade coffee.
Oh, yeah. Best coffee, homemade.
Oh yeah. You was able to invite your buddy?
So I noticed that I had an issue before where I had to revoke the friend request and then redo the friend request, and now he's trying to add me again. I know there's a way to get your actual hashtag. Like, I think that's under account, right? Let me double check. I think that's the best.
Yeah,
I think it's better. Yeah. All right. Well, let me go on there without showing my.
And have it show the numbers in the back. Cause there's one you could do it just the name, and there's one that you could show the numbers in the back.
Okay. Let me check real quick. All right. Am I in your party? The hell? Oh, give me a second.
No, you got kicked.
Yeah, no. I restarted the game. Okay. Hold on. Let me see here. Options, account.
You display your ID number.
Friend request and party invite.
The numbers.
Disabled. Or hidden. What the? Why is it hidden?
What, the bottom ones? The networks?
Display unique ID numbers. That's enabled.
Yeah. Now it should show the numbers in the back of your name now. On the right hand, you know, where it says rank.
Nah, it just shows my name. Hold on. Account, and you said activation account. I gotta click that. Hold on, let me hide that real quick. I don't want it to show too much of anything. Hold on, guys.
Should be in.
Oh, okay. Change display name. Okay. Tokens remaining. That's not it. Huh. Thomas, try again, bro. Yeah, it's all lowercase. Alright, we're gonna relog again, just double check and make sure and see what's going on here. What the hell's going on?
Komarov, AQ Hilo.
Thomas, you're adding the wrong one, bro. When you, Thomas, what are you choosing for this? When you go here, make sure you click Xbox Live gamer tag.
You still there, Ramon?
I'm still here.
Yeah, figured it out.
Yeah, I'm just making sure he's adding me on the right run. I think he just keeps doing the because I do play it on PC, and I think that's where it's getting complex at, because I do have it on different platforms.
I mean, long as the gamer tag, whatever you send.
All right. What the heck is going on here? Let me check my friend request again. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just do a round while we're waiting, I guess. He's on PlayStation. I know PlayStation is like the only platform that gives me the hard time when people add me. Like PC and Xbox is completely fine. Never had an issue. It's the and I think it's Microsoft just being douchebags about it. It says friend request, follow on PS4. No, Thomas, you added me on the wrong one, bro. Wait, so how do you do it on PlayStation, Speedy? Because you have this on PlayStation or no?
What, the game?
Yeah. So all you do, click. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, Thomas. What you do is you click your Y, or for PlayStation it's your triangle. Press triangle again.
Yeah, it's triangle for PlayStation.
And then triangle again. So you're gonna press triangle 3 times until you hit search friend using, and you're gonna want to click on Xbox gamertag. And then in the text field, you're just gonna type the. Well, let me get.
There's one for his system, and there's one for crossplay. Whoever he added will show up in that crossplay. It
Yeah.
won't show nobody unless it got added. But there's one for the system, and there's one for crossplay. Like literally just crossplay. Doesn't matter. Whatever system you're not playing on, it'll be there.
Oh, wait a
It'll
second.
be the first one, cause on the when I
Wait a
search for
second.
friends
I
on the
think
Xbox,
I
it'll be
think
on
I
top.
I got the crossplay off. Hold on.
Oh, see? You gotta have everything enabled. Otherwise, it'll act up.
Right. All right. Try now, Thomas. I just turned it on. Yeah.
Now it should work.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Oh shoot. Ah, my settings, bro. Like, what the hell? Did the game change it or something? Like, my settings were all weird.
Maybe if the game reset.
All right. So let's see it now. Let's see what happens.
Now it should work. That's what happens.
Guess what, bro?
You gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast. Did it work?
No, I don't know yet. He said this. So let me check now. I just restarted my Xbox just to be safe. All right, here we go.
Chico Steak. Oh shit.
I want a big fat gyro, bro, with extra cucumber sauce on it.
Ooh, eliminate the cucumber sauce, but that sour, no, what is it, ranch they put in it?
Kamarov, AQ Hilo.
Man, shit.
Do you fuck with gyros? I love gyros.
I know, bro.
Me and my buddy used to, back in the days, hit that gas station on Lorraine, that marathon.
Yeah.
They used to make these banging ass gyros there. I don't know if they still do, but. You wouldn't trade my mom because my mom takes care of your bitch ass. See, my mom used to be like me and my ex work. Teamwork.
Yeah. That's always good, bro.
Not free. Oh yeah, fuck you. You got more than teamwork at your house. Tonya gets home from a hard day at work.
Hey, shh.
You want some white rice? With some corned beef? Some empanadillas on the side? Oh, you should eat healthy. Let me give you this salad with, you know, like a chicken salad from McDonald's but homemade.
Right. Yeah, I'll just check like after every round. That way we're not just sitting doing nothing. I don't want to keep you waiting. Yeah, I don't know. He's trying to add me. I don't know what's going on, bro. The game's being weird. I resetted the game like 6 times and kept checking my friend requests. Nothing. Right. Is it the clan tag or something that could throw it off or what? It shows TGS Tricks 2007. So does he have to add me by that? Right. All right. Let's do this, bro. Oh my god, I keep dropping this shenanigans. Man! What time is it? Time goes fast. I don't know, bro. I kind of like it. I'm trying to get used to it. I really am. It's hard. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm literally struggling on Xbox. Like, what the hell's wrong with me? Like, I don't like this. And you remember me, bro? Good old COD days, bro. I was straight Xbox console. Now look at me. I'm like over here, like, trying the hardest I can. I love it, bro. You're gonna make me want to play Mission Impossible on the Nintendo 64 all over again. Oh yeah? The who what? Oh my god, my audio keeps cutting out. It's annoying. I might switch to my PC headphones in a second. All right, let's.
We've got enemy in.
Oh, you never played it? Oh, you mean the
They're down.
You mean the original?
We've taken the lead.
Claymore set.
Hell yeah, bro. We gotta play the campaign, bro. Get that co-op going on. Right. Might be a spawn flop. What the? Oh, my joystick, bro. I'm like aiming at the guy and I just couldn't move it fast enough. Yeah. That was poo. Oh my god, bro. Like, I'm not used to this big screen anymore. I'm used to like a small, tiny 24-inch, not a... Yeah. Now my gun is too damn huge on my screen, bro. Wow. Right, no, the monitors are nice. I only, you know, it's only because I want to do like 150 frames, you know what I'm saying? Nope. You're what?
Reloading.
Yeah. Whatever your monitor supports, just like your TV. Whatever your TV supports.
Claymore set. Changing mags. Fire!
Care package arriving on station.
God, my goddamn reloading. Oh my G blah 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 blah. Nah, yeah, so your monitor is like my monitor is only like 1440. I only do 1080 anyway. I do 1080 at 140 FPS. Now, if I'm gonna play Xbox, I'll play 4K 60 FPS. But that's only because, you know, it's easier to run 4K on an Xbox than it is on a
Enemy personal radar in the air.
on a PC. 4K is just, you need a really beast computer for it. But if you get a 4K monitor, you could do 4K, you could do 60 FPS, whatever it is you buy.
Ready for airdrop. Claymore set.
Good copy. Nomad 2-2 on approach for drop.
Got a personal radar drone ready
Request
for
recon
escort.
flyover.
Copy. Jaguar 3-0 en route for personal radar coverage.
Good job, Speedy. I'm on your 6, bro. Let's go. I hate the footsteps in this game. Oh, got it for you.
I'm taking fire.
Yep, so good.
Enemy counter UAV online. We've taken the lead.
You died up top.
Friendly UAV overhead.
This is Jaguar 3-0.
We're halfway there. Keep fighting.
Come on, man. Bro, like, that TTK crap. I hate that. Oh, whatever.
Enemy personal radar in the air. Friendly UAV overhead. Friendly care package inbound.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, that luck kill, man. I'm telling you, that luck kill. Can you see it?
We're losing ground. Step it up.
Oh, man. What are we going to do without J-Lo, man? What are we going to do without J... Man, my game audio keeps cutting out, bro. It's annoying me. Why does it keep doing that? Like, that's really aggravating.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Wow. Wow, bro. F this controller. Bro, we got lucky. I'm getting a hit markers on hardcore, and I shot around the corner before he shot me, and yeah, he got me.
Allied cluster strike inbound.
Stupid. I hate that. Like, I know he's coming around the corner. Because you know how when they hide and you know they're going to come back out. But I kept shooting and none of my bullets landed, bro. Like, he got me with one shot. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, screw that, bro.
Enemy counter UAV online.
Yeah.
Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Okay.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike in. Getting hammered. Step it up.
I got him for you. I saw the feet, man. It is good to have a big TV, bro. I saw them feet from a mile away. But, man.
Less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Taking control.
Like, I'm not doing bad on a controller, but the problem is I'm not doing like I normally would. Yeah, oh, shotgun is... Oh, look at this guy. Jeez, you needed all that in hardcore, bro? Yeah, like I went 9 and 8, but that's because of the lucky kills. But you did good, 19-11, that's perfect. The what? Yeah. Yeah. Why? What happened? No friend request yet, Thomas. Did you do it, bro? Yeah, bro. I don't see your friend request yet, dude. Do me a favor, go to friend request, revoke the friend request, and send it again. Nah, I know you ain't the only one, man. About to eat something later. I'm gonna eat something a little bit too. Right?
Get your teeth out. Time to hunt. Stun bomb out! Claymore. Setting Claymore. Changing mag. We have the lead.
Right. That's true, bro. Yeah, they're pretty boo-boo.
Setting Claymore. Changing mag.
We got this, man. We got this. Nice and easy. Okay. Yeah, this audio cut in and out is crap, bro. $300 headphones. That's the life of being wireless.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
My name didn't pop up? Yeah, I don't know, Thomas. I don't know, dude. Like, my name is right here, bro. That's who you need to add right there. Yeah, when you type Xbox Live Gamertag, it should literally just add you as my Xbox, and this should be it, bro. This is all you gotta do. It should work. If it ain't working, I don't know, man. It might be something on your end. Make sure your NAT is not moderate or strict too. Make sure it's open. What I could do though is I could check my Blizzard account, maybe see if you added me on there, and then it'll add you on here too. Give me a sec.
Changing mag.
Come on, man. Close the goddamn door, man. Jeez. Have some manners. Alright.
Friendly UAV online.
It'll kick me out of the game, though, if I do that, so I'll just wait.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Yeah. I don't know. See what you can do there, Thomas. Hopefully you can figure something out, man. You know? Get something going on. Yo, 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 yo. I am camping so hard. Oh. Speedy. Brutal, bro. Brutal over there. Bro, these guys are hiding, man. Jeez. Watch your Speedy, you're getting close to one. Yep, right there on your right. Alright, good. Wow, it's a spawn flip.
Friendly cluster strike inbound.
Whatever.
No go 3-1. Enemy personal radar in the air. Friendly UAV online.
Low ammo.
Hardcore sniping. It's all good. That makes them feel better. I said whatever makes them feel better.
Friendly UAV online.
Target away.
Ah, he's in there. There's one on your left. Yeah, that's what I said, bro. Lucky son of a gun. I got the other one that was in the room with him, though. Here's what I'm gonna do. There was two of them.
Target away. Target away.
Damn it! I hate all these maps. Every single map in this damn game, I hate it. Like, give us the old map.
Reloading.
I don't like the layouts. It's too open and exposed, and
Friendly UAV
the ones
online.
that are not open are too tiny. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big cave. Oh my god, come on. This is aggravating me, bro. Like, really. I hate every map. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Team Deathmatch anymore. I used to love TDM, but I hate it once this game came out. The only good thing is that you ain't gotta wait.
Stay with it.
What happened?
Reloading.
Oh my god, my audio! I need to switch headphones, bro. I can't do this crap. Like, look, and then my screen blacks out. Ugh. Yeah, no, I don't hear music. I mean, it is on, but it's real low.
Our enemies will not forget this day. Neither will we.
Like 10%. Like, the music doesn't bother me. It's that my audio cuts out. Like, it feels like my transmitter or whatever, for Turtle Beach, it doesn't transmit the audio like it's supposed to. And then sometimes, because I'm using a capture card, my Elgato gives me the black screen, bro. I'm such at a disadvantage because of it. Yeah, so what I need to do is I need to go get a new HDMI cord. I bought a cheap one. But the problem is I need one that's specifically for 4K because I'm trying to run the game in 4K. Plus I'm connected to my computer, so it's like all that together, it just causes conflict. Let me check my friend request real quick, see if Thomas did it right. Nope. Give me a second, bro. Let me back out for a sec. Hold on. Let me restart the game. Alright, let's see here. Alright, Thomas. Give me a second, bro. We're gonna go ahead and try to get through this, dude. Hold on, okay? I'm gonna log into my other one. Just to kind of double check and see what's going on here, okay? Hold on. Let me see if this works real quick. My God. Seriously? Okay, let's try this now. My bad, bro. Give me a second. Oh. Right. Let me actually turn this off. This is making my computer go crazy. Right. Let me actually turn this off. Okay. This is making my computer go crazy.
Right.
This.
Let me actually turn this off.
Okay.
This is making my computer go crazy.
Right.
Let
This.
me actually turn this off.
All right, let me log in into my PC account real quick. What the hell? It's being weird. Are you serious? Wow. Okay. All right, now it's working. Oh my god, bro, my account's being weird. Seriously, now there's an update for Modern Warfare on PC. I was literally just on it a few moments ago. Okay, so what the heck is going on with Xbox then? So Xbox should be good. This is weird. Dad, that's crazy, bro. Ah, my PC version had an update, but I don't remember an update. Why is there an update? That's okay. I'm back on the Xbox. I was trying to see if he added me on the PC version, maybe see if I can find it, you know? But I don't know. I know he's been trying to add me for a few days now, but I never could see it. Could be one of those
Kamarov, AQ heal.
you know, moderate type thingies. Yeah, I'm even sending him a friend request and he's not accepting it, so I don't get it, bro. I think the activation account is the best way to add somebody. I think trying to do it through consoles is actually problematic. You know how you get your hashtag ID number? That's the best way to do it. Thomas, what's your username with your hashtag number, bro? I need your Activision ID number, not your PlayStation gamer tag, because it's not working. All right, let's see here. We'll do another round while we wait, I guess. I gotta... So what's the best thing you like about the game so far? No? Ah. Right. I know, bro. Isn't it like infuriating, bro? Like I think everybody's so mad at the game. This game's got so much hate. And the sad thing is, dude, they could have done so well with this. I mean, you took the original Modern Warfare name and ruined it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that you're trying to add the climbing and the difference, like, in the different, like, battle sequences and whatever, but yeah, but now yeah. Right. Well. Well, that's okay. Well, we know you only got like a top 3 game. What are you doing, Apex or Smite tonight? No, but seriously though, I do want to play some Smite sometime if you guys are down for it later. Smite or Apex, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Hey, it's good, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Oh yeah.
Enemy threat to the
Claymore set.
Not the Claymore. On your 6.
The way to do it, man. It's the way to do it.
Claymore set.
Yeah, pretty much. We will, bro. Well, just get on some COD with us, bro. We can't always just jump on the game you're playing. Wait, you don't have Call of Duty, but you have every other one.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Bro, she ain't even a gamer no more, dude. So you out of luck. Oh, it's okay. I don't drink no more anyway, bro. Not like that. Damn, bro, you make it sound like I was an alcoholic. I mean, I know I was, but still.
We're losing control. We've got control.
Oh man, limited edition, bro. Blame Young Daddy in that one. He on that C4 now. Wow. Bro, alright, Young Daddy, I need help, bro. I need help bad. Why does my audio keep cutting out on these damn headphones, bro? Like, I'm really getting sick and tired of my Xbox headphones right now. Like, it's like there's like it cuts out and cuts back in after like a 2-second. I gotta do. I might have to reset it again.
We've taken control.
Claymore set.
Right.
EMP drone away. We're losing control.
Claymore set.
There you go. There you go. Welcome back, Thomas. Welcome back, bro. Did you figure it out? Hopefully you figured it out, bro.
We've taken the lead.
Yeah, best way to do it. The best way to do it. You know? Oh my god, this audio keeps cutting in and out, man. This is stupid. Why? Blame Xbox. I'm just going back to my PC headphones. I never have this problem. Yeah, well... Well, let me try moving it a little higher up, maybe. It is kind of hiding. Hold on.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. We're losing control.
Now, where is this connected?
We've taken the lead. On your 6.
Alright, I'm like over here goofing off. Curtis.
Damn it.
Just gonna Let me,
We've lost the lead.
testing. I just disconnected and reconnected to see if that helps. And now...
We've pulled ahead.
Bro, I just moved it, but I don't have much playroom to move it. Oh, well, if I do, I don't know, bro. I mean, I do got 2 wireless headphones. I do have wireless controllers. I do have wireless cell phones. I do have the router and modem, but the... No. Most of mine are 5. Nah, I still did it again.
We're
This is
losing
stupid.
control.
It's literally right here on my face. There's no reason why I should be skipping out. Let me see. The Elite 800s.
Claymore set.
We've taken the lead.
All Alright, let me see something here. This is weird. I don't remember where I got it connected to.
We're halfway there. Keep fighting. Less than a minute. We're almost there. Let's bring it home.
Let me
30 seconds. Time to move your asses. Care package arriving on station. Having smoke!
Claymore set.
Stand down, lads. They've had enough for one day.
Alright, we'll see. I put them up a little higher now. Oh, still did it, and I'm literally standing right next to it. Doesn't matter. Alright, what's up? What's going on? What happened? Oh, what are we playing? We're switching games? Oh man. Apex be making me upset. I don't know. There's some things about that goddamn game I hate. I hate the armor in that game. It's freaking Halo all over again. Well, whatever it is we do, I literally got about an hour anyway. It doesn't matter. We can do either one. Yeah. Up to you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to be on long, so whatever you guys are wanting to play. Nah, I just honestly, dude, I just kind of fell out of BRs. You know what I'm saying? I did so much Battle Royale. I mean, I went from Battle Royale on my PC, my Xbox, my Android. I just got BR'd out. Like, I just got tired of it. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Ah! Oh my God, if these headphones don't stop cutting out. All right, I need to power cycle my headphones. Limitations of console gaming. Like, this is aggravating. At least on PC, I know how to troubleshoot and fix things. Nah, bro. Well, no, you don't, because you just go buy new headphones. Really? Really? But when the drivers crash, there's a workaround. There's a tweak. Really? It is? It depends on how you want to build it. Consoles are expensive. It's $500. Bro, you can. Yes, yes. If you play the games on medium settings, which is normal for console. You don't even know what maximum settings you're running, dude. You don't even know what maximum settings you're running. Have you seen? Nah, bro, let me tell you something. Right now, my graphics card, I can play every single game on Ultra. No doubt about that. Now, my only issue is... No, I exit Call of Duty. And I'm on Mass Effect 3. I forgot how to check my... I forgot where my notifications go. Why does it go into the cogwheel system settings? That's stupid. No, it doesn't. Wait, that's my headset. Xbox. Oh, invitations right here. Got it. I hope it's updated. Yeah, thanks, bro. This is the why I don't miss this about Xbox. When Joker used to do that, man, it's annoying. No, I don't. All right, bear with me now. I haven't played on Xbox in a while, so let's do this. I know I'm loading in. The Xbox lagging. Hold on, I gotta wait. It's only running at 60 frames per second. Give me a moment. Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god, don't open up Internet Explorer. What the hell? That's so cheating. No, it knew I was gonna hit. Bro, what the? It says X to continue. There we go. Thank gosh. It took me to the freaking browser trying to make me buy something. I don't want to spend no money, man. I'm cheap. Can't afford it right now. I'm on a budget, dude. My internet's gonna get cut off in like a day anyway. Hell yeah, I'm gonna be playing offline games here shortly. Oh my god. Yeah. Damn it, I forgot. I forgot. I had to leave early. I had to go pick him up at 2 o'clock. It's already 1:30. I won't be able to play. I forgot, bro. I was just reminded now I gotta leave early. I thought he usually gets out at 3, but I forgot today. I gotta get him out early in school. I got an appointment to go to. Dang. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be back in a couple hours though. I'll catch up with you guys. Be in bed, you just got on. You already going to bed, bro? It's your curfew? It's your bedtime? It's your limit? Street lights are on, you gotta go to bed, bro? Yeah, well, I ain't see you up at 06 in the morning. You might have been up at 6 doing other things. You weren't gaming though. That controller wasn't in your hand. Oh. 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 Right. That's good, man. I'm proud of you, bro. You're doing great. That's the times when the whipping chains come out, bro. Oh man. All right, I'll catch you guys a little bit. No, if you guys are on, probably in like 2 hours. I'll be back on. I'm trying to do more Xbox gaming. I'm trying to get back into groove of, controller gaming. I'm slacking hardcore, but we'll be all right. I think No, I sworn I left the party. I did, bro. I'm at my dashboard. Like I hit leave party. I hit that red button. Well, you want me to do you clean? Oh gosh, they drive me crazy. All right, anyway, guys. All right, we're gonna yeah, eating sounds really good. My Xbox headphones are really making me upset right now with everything, guys. It really is. I don't know what's wrong with it, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. I actually do gotta head out. I forgot I had things I had to do. So yeah, we're gonna cut this one short, guys. This was only what, like an hour 51 minutes. We did 2 hours, so we'll probably do 2 more hours later. So we'll see. Yeah, but until then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next podcast. See you later. Goodbye.